Now tell your story, Akash.
Shashi is a young graduate in engineering who was traveling from Lucknow to Bhopal for his semester break. On his way back, he suddenly had this strong, pungent smell from something burning somewhere. He, he then, along with the co-passengers, realized a compartment was burning. Uh, Shashi quickly pulled the emergency chain of the train and then halted the train. He then, along with the fellow passengers, helped in the evacuation of the passengers from the train. When everyone was out, he realized he couldn't take the same way out because the other compartments were burning as well. So he decided to jump into the river outside the compartment.
Now, till the point he has talked about that he jumped into the river, where was the need of it? Does he want to commit suicide? Then why is he trying to? He's trying to run away from the scene then. Till then, everything was right. Only thing you have trying to be verbose. You could have simply while traveling, you found the train with the help of the co-passenger around there, tried to put out the fire, pulled the train, and when the train stopped with the help of other passengers, helped others to be evacuated and put out the fire. Including you can take with the available resources, even brought water from the nearby river which was there and started trying to put out. That's the end of it. You got water in the train itself has got water, isn't it? From different cabins of different compartments has got water. You just have to carry it through. You don't have to go down. Okay. Now, who will read out? Rishabh, read it now. Rishabh, read out your story. Unmute yourself.
Yes. Ram is a 23-year-old boy who, while coming from a football match, was traveling in a train and saw a kid standing on the door of the train. While going over the bridge, the boy fell down in the river below. Ram saw this and immediately jumped to save him, as Ram is a good swimmer and he has participated in many swimming competitions. He used his skill to save the boy and brought him back to the bank of the river.
Okay. So the problem is, again, be unrealistic, isn't it?
Yes.
You can't really jump from a train. So you're then suicidal, isn't it? Say, use the effective intelligence, reasoning ability, organize, everything goes. Okay. Which is the next one? Next story is in this one. Is it a boy and girl, isn't it? Okay. Now, others, have you remade a story? Others?
No, sir. Sorry, sir.
No. Okay. Rishabh, read it.
Manoj is a 22-year-old boy. While coming back from his college,
your voice is inaudible.
Manoj is a 22-year-old boy. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Manoj is a 22-year-old boy. While coming back from his college, he notices a lady crying under a tree. Manoj rushes to the lady and asks why is she crying. She then tells Manoj that she has lost her bag which had many important documents of her. Manoj encourages the lady to not lose the hope, and said they will together find the bag. After that, Manoj
How many
and
lines
lady
have passed
goes
by now?
around 7, 8.
In 7 lines, what have you done? You have just found out the lady has lost her bag and you're trying to assure her that you will find her. You will any action involved? No. So you can maximum write 13 lines. 7 lines is a waste of resource. आगे चलिए.
After that, Manoj and lady goes back to the same road from which the lady had come from, and after they found out the bag on the side of the road. Manoj then.
So what a great job you have done. You have just accompanied the lady back to the trace and then you found it. What grade should we get it? Would you get any grade? Tell me now, yourself, you should be able to analyze yourself. So just for walking, should you be made an officer? Just tell me. You have to bring out those 15 qualities. Which qualities emerge? You've got empathetic, that's all. You are trying to, but here the need comes up because why only girl? Why only you? That indicates there is a need for sex comes into play. I said 27 needs are there. That is the evidence from the system. I didn't want to be very specific there, but this is what is the come. Why should you only come? Why not others come to help her. What do you do? Nothing great? Okay. Rajnish.
Yes, sir. Sachin got a job and married with Savani. Sometimes after Sachin's mother-in-law was unwell, he and his wife went to meet her mother-in-law where she was admitted in hospitals. Shivani just saw her mother conditions. She came out and sit in the hospital's garden and she tensioned. Sachin came here to increase moral and encourages his wife and said, "Don't worry, and all will be right." Doctor said it's only a small heart attack, so you need to care your mother. And I give medicines. She will be all right after some times.
Okay, very nice. शादी कब करवा लिया तुमने, रजेश?
Yes, sir.
शादी कब करवाया?
सर जैसे साहब
शादी हो गई क्या तेरी?
नहीं सर.
नहीं. तो what is this story for? अपने बीबी को लेकर घुमा रहा है. कहाँ घुमा रहा है? मदर इन लॉ, सिस्टर इन लॉ, डॉटर इन लॉ, फादर इन लॉ. What is the story? Which qualities emerge? Tell me. अपने बीबी को जाकर, अपने बीबी का सास को जाकर वहां पर बैठ कर दिखाता है, बीमार है, होटल में बैठ के बीबी करड़ हो रही है, उसको मना रहा है. कौन बड़ा कहानी कर दिया तुमने? Which qualities emerge? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
ये बच्चों का खेल है क्या? कब आप लोगों में मैच्योरिटी आएगी? जितने बिहार प्रदेश और उत्तर प्रदेश के लोग हैं ऐसे यहाँ हैं क्या? आकाश, read it. Akash, read it. Akash, read, my dear.
Hello.
Yeah, read
Yes,
it.
sir. Lokesh is a young IS officer who came back to his city after a long time. After he came back, he decided to meet Ritu, who was his childhood friend. When he met her, she seemed to be in a lot of grief, so he took her out to talk to her. She explained she was going to be married to a family who are really adamant about getting a dowry. Though her husband is against it, but their family traditions outweighs both of their choices. This infuriated Lokesh, so he decided to meet the family of her fiance. Lokesh preached and made them understand about the ills of dowry. The family was reluctant, but eventually realized about it. And
Okay, you also become no exception. I'll tell your father about it exactly the same way. Huh? You also following the same line of my Rajnish Karan. What is this? क्या तुम मिला? What have you have met your fiancé, go around there, girlfriend now, see, go dowry, you are trying to critical the society. Can't you think of a better plot? Tell me yourself.
yes, sir.
इतने लोग हो, इतना we can't even think about it. What is the use? Which qualities you must tell me? You are maintaining relationship with your old friend, fair enough, social adaptability to that extent. And you use the word furious. That indicates what? You are unable to control your own impulse and emotions. And the time you can control your own, you are unable to control. So what does it mean? What does it mean? You are unable to.
No
So
self-control.
you have self-control is gone. You have to solve it. So why do you use the word? You are trying to solve the self-inflicted wound. Why do you want to cut yourself? Can't you think of a better story around the having found that she can be a sister, it can be brother, it can be any relationship. Can you think of a better story?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm stuck with all you people on there. I do not know how to come out of this. Okay. Let me just see. Who will this? Others have you written on this story? Others.
I have written the fourth one.
Yeah, you have not written. Okay. Rajnish, read it.
So Mahesh is a kind person. He going to market where he saw a car accident, a girl, and was running. He called the ambulance and right on the.
Just a second. Start. या बोलो रजनीश कौन बोल रहा था?
Sir, Mahesh is a kind person. He going to market where he saw a car accident a girl and was running. He went there where girl lied. He stopped the blood bleeding with the help of others. He called the ambulance and noticed the car number in mind immediately and called the police. Ambulance came and brought the accidental. Police caught the car and sent to jail. Then after Mahesh comes back home.
अच्छा देख बता रजनीश ये बता मेरे को what is the priority? First priority you rightly put was you given the first aid, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes,
Have you
yes.
given the first aid? Very nice. After that, what is the next priority? Because if she is breathing unconscious, she has to be taken to the hospital. Is it necessary that you have to wait for the ambulance to come? Can't you carry her in the available car, taxi, what is available to the hospital?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So she has to be admitted to the hospital first. In simultaneously, with the help of others, you can always, you have to inform her, their parents who were there. She would be required some money, additional money or help, other help are required. That is also, that's the priority. Now, going back to the police story, what is, you remember, I talked of coherence. First thing first, and then that is how things should follow. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So is it coherent? पहला चीज क्या है? पहले first aid, then taking to hospital, informing the parent, getting the first aid, then informing the police. Today, earlier there used to be they could have medical legal case. Now the government has already brought rules that no hospital refuse first aid. Earlier there used to be a problem. Now we can inform the police later on also. It is not necessary to inform that immediately. Or
Yes,
there
sir.
will be other people who can take control of that. So sequence, you are trying to do it, but you have to make the story flow. आज जब तक स्टोरी फ्लो नहीं करता कोई फायदा नहीं होगा ना, होगा?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, who will read it now? Others read it. Others has not done it. On Rishabh, read it. Rishabh, read it. Hello. ऋषभ कहाँ गया?
पता नहीं सर वो अचानक से निकल गई. I guess he has some internet
Okay.
issues.
Now Rakesh, you others you tell me. अच्छा others ऋषभ you
Sir, Rishabh
tell your
is
story.
back, sir.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I got Spanish. Sita is a 24-year-old lady who, while going to her work, got into an accident with nearby passing car. The car driver immediately came out of his car, checked Sita, took her to the nearest hospital where the doctor gave Sita immediate treatment, which saved her life. And the car driver informed the incident to the police, admitted his fault, and later apologized to Sita.
Okay, very nice. That's a being conscientious person on there. So that indicates your personality that you will not run away from the scene. That's a very good quality which emerges. But probably it's only, if you only take the hospital, would be suffice.
I think I missed first aid.
Second, not really the first. Second, you are putting that shows carelessness and carelessness. So, सबसे बड़ा तो why should you meet with an accident? As a person, when you are trying to meeting with an accident, that shows that you take life very carelessly and you're a careless person. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
So why should you be careless? Why should you be party to that? And after having done that, one thing good, you didn't run away and you taken, that's another thing. That is being a human. That is being a human. You're a good human, accept it. But the first and foremost, it's not the humanity. I don't want saint. I want people who can be effective, use their brain. And if you are being careless and careless, that indicates where you are indisciplined. Isn't it? Correct. So you should avoid your personal involvement in such instance. Right. Now, Akash, read it.
Preeti is a young aspirant from Jhansi who wants to join the armed forces. She cleared her CDS exam and she got selected for SSB. and she got a date for it. It was in Bhopal, but there was a strike on that day in
How
Jhansi.
many lines have passed by now?
The 5, sir.
5 lines. What have you done? What have you achieved?
Nothing.
Nothing. So what is use? मैंने आपको बोला गाय भैंस को भूसा देता है ना रे, भूसा क्यों देता है? भूसा से पेट भरता है क्या? पेट भरेगा, मोटा हो जाएगा भैंस, दैट्स ऑल। तो उसी तरह स्टोरी तुम्हारी बड़ी होगी, दैट्स द एंड ऑफ इट। व्हाट क्रेडिट डू यू गेट? अरे अपने कहानी में भूसा मत भरो, अपने कहानी में दाना डालो, जिससे कि प्रोटीन मिलेगा और मिलेगा। So 5 lines is a sheer wastage. आगे चलिए, read from here now.
She was determined to catch this train, so she started running towards the station, which was 15 kilometers away. It was a sunny morning, and she crossed 10-kilometer mark when she got exhausted and collapsed. When she regained her consciousness, she still got up and got to the station on time. She got to the train and reached.
Okay, now hold it. Who is the girl? Who is the hero? Girl. I said what? Heroes should be of same age and sex. Is it or not? Secondly, the first show the dynamic quality is low, and that's again get corroborated because she exhausts and she faints. It means your physical and mental stamina is low. Secondly, running 10 kilometers away to catch a train is again you don't even have not used your brain. Effective intelligence, reasonability is gone. So you got low effective intelligence, low reasoning ability, and low organizing ability. You've got mental stamina is low, physical stamina is low. What is use of writing this story? तो फायदा है, बोलो.
Okay.
Okay. You'll find out that. That's the reason I gave it. Okay. Read the next one. Rishabh, start.
Pankaj is a 23-year-old boy who got into an accident in his childhood and
Okay,
lost
before
his
we
leg.
go across, just have a look at it. Just have a. Let's recollect back. What all things should we look for? Okay. I said when you analyze any story, you would look at the first and foremost on the form of the story. Story should be complex. That shows intelligence around there. You should have some literature. Your word, hi, why, guy, all the stories that you write must have flow. Right? Any doubt? That's right. Rajnish slightly put in effort. Your thought and ideas, okay, don't worry. You just have to keep practicing it. Okay, now sense of reality, sense of what will possible है, that should be possible reality. Then the coherence of thought. I said there are 4 types of coherence. Temporal coherence, that your clear chronological way. First thing first, second thing second. Then causal relationship between events and effect on the heroes. Now suppose in this case, just now story we heard Akash telling that a girl was running 10 kilometers. That is the cause. That is the cause. What is the effect? She is exhausted. So that's wrong. This causal draw itself is wrong. Thematic. Hero making an effective evaluation of their story. Now, when you write a story, what do you want to convey? That a theme. What is the theme? Just like Rajnish had given out a story where he, along with his wife, had gone to see his mother-in-law. What is the theme? He cares for his parents. That's all. Isn't it? How to say? Is there anything beyond that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, cultural. What do we do? It should be within the bound of the accepted norms, which is positive, not the negative one. Then understanding the instruction that you have got. How much time? You have got 4 minutes time. So you must write at least half a page, and the story should be at least 12 to 13 to 14 lines. Next, you must perceive the image correctly. Story description, you must describe. You must give admirable description. Is it a story or description? Normally, say you are trying to define this. This is the scene of this one. So you must write a story. Now, till now, all of you have done it. all of you brought only one type of success called a situational success, one-time event. Your effort should be to bring out what your long-term effect of a personality. It is one time you help the person, that doesn't mean help tomorrow. That helped him once. What lesson did you learn from that accident? That will not just the boy, just not Rajnish had taken, he has taken the girl to the hospital. Fair enough. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but reason I must learn not to be careless and careless in future. Will obey the traffic rule. Something happened. Our accident happened because the blind turn. He went to the police station, got the blind turn corrected, and new signal sign has been placed. That is how the effect has been. Future has to be done. Okay. Degree of cooperation. Richness, you have to give as much details as possible. Degree of cooperation. When you make a two, I said whenever possible, make a team, not a individual. Till now, all of you have talked about only individual story. None of you have talked about group story till now. None of you have talked about group story by now till now. Okay. Then I say language, it should be correct. So that is the first is the form. Next, content. It must have a hero. Hero must have a name. And what is the feeling of what is the need of the hero? Just like when you talked about Rajnish talks, he got married and he is going with wife. What is the use? That? Okay. What is that? And any problem that you have found out, it should have adequate press. There should be a problem. तभी आप उसको करोगे, action लोगे, then only your quality will emerge. If there is no problem at all, then what quality will emerge? Then action should be adequate and inadequate. Your action should be adequate. Outcome should be positive. People who resemble him, attitude should be of the same sex, not of other sex, or the same age. You can. Some class 12 people, just like I have got a friend, others can be wishful, yes. Why not? Because he's class 10th, 11th student. But I don't expect Akash to be wishful that much. He is already grown up. Then what is it? Your story should be socially, morally, emotionally, intellectually correct. Then comes theme, descriptive level. What is that? I just said, what is theme? I understand that descriptive level. Then I'm going to interpret what does it mean. As I said, when he talks about he is going with his wife to get his to see his mother-in-law, that indicates what? He is a family man who wants to get married and settle down as a happy family. Isn't it? That's my interpretation. He has a strong need to be related. It means he is the person who does not have adequate good relationship with in and out. He is hankering for a good relationship. That puts a doubt onto my mind that since he has not got it, he's a fantasize. He's imagining that he has got a good wife who's looking after his own people. That's how interpretation goes. So now whatever you doing, that interest will come back in the form of a story. It should be able to bring out a 15 quality. That is what psychologist talked about it. And the way, and we must resolve the conflict what happened at the end of it. So now having talked about these 14 now, based upon these qualities now, let's understand and let's interpret the story that you are talking about now. Okay. Now, tell me a story.
Pankaj is a 23-year-old boy who got into an accident in his childhood and lost his leg. Pankaj is a very ambitious boy, and while watching TV, he got to know about Paralympics, where he saw people throwing javelin. After this, Pankaj got inspired and decided to take javelin throw as a sport. Pankaj worked really hard, and later he represented his college and got selected for nationals.
Very nice. Only one thing, I have already told you, hero will not get hurt, he will not get killed, he will not, he will not die. Did I say or not?
Yes.
Then why do you do that? Hero क्यों करना चाहते हो? You can be a doctor only who is working. You can be working a prosthetic doctor who is trying to design a new limb, new type of lighter limb with less costly. It can be given to our war heroes. Can it be done that way or not? Yeah. Yes, sir. Tell me. You can story can be you are this sub is a doctor who has specialized in making the artificial limb system around there. In order to keeping the requirement of the war heroes around there, he has started designing new prosthetic joints of the system for both legs and hands around there, which is going to be less costly and lighter around there, which could be affordable to any person around there. It is he's doing a lot of human work and good human that can be this sort of story can be done. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Rajnish, read out now your story.
So Suraj is a very fit person, and he always joins sports when the sports held. One day when he was going to join to participate for sports in school, a car hit him and all people come there, and Suraj was admitted in hospital. When he get up, he saw now I am a handicapped person. He is worried about for his future, but never
Please
accept
don't
me.
write this sort of story. I have already told you, don't get handicapped, don't get kill yourself, don't get hurt. What is the use? I have told you to become a कौन सा अमिताभ बच्चन का कभी हाथ नहीं टूटता, पैर नहीं टूटता, गोली करता, मरता नहीं है, वो सबको दूसरों को मारता है, खुद नहीं मरता. क्यों खुद मरने के लिए तैयार हो जाते हो यार? तुमको मैं लड़ाई में तुमको मरने के लिए बताता हूं कि तुमको you have got 100 a platoon, a company and battalion at your back and call. You want them to be killed? They are relying on your instructions. Imagine what would happen to them. Okay, others, आपने कहानी बनाया है इसको? Others have written it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
पढ़ो, read out.
Rohit was a student in Kendra Vidyalaya, Dehradun. During his final examination day, he met with an accident, and in the accident, he lost one of his legs. And he started getting depressed due to such an accident. But one day,
Okay,
he was watching.
I will not go further on to the same line. Please avoid it. Don't make a negative story. I have told you, don't become Shakespeare. His all ending are tragic. Don't become tragic. I want a positive story to come out of it, isn't it? Yes or no?
One day, yes.
आधा समय समझ गया. आपके बाद आगे क्या, उसके बाद क्या किया बोलो.
सर वही सर पैरालंपिक्स.
तो अगेन रिपीट हो गया ना. तुम लोग दिमाग में कोई याद. Understand, I want you to think originally. All of you are being carried, taking cut and paste करने दुनिया में आ गए हो. You're looking at you trying to fit a story from outside into this. Don't try and fit a story outside. Please understand, this cut and paste has ruined the atmosphere and it ruined the personality of the people. You want to be something else which you can't be. You are original. You have got enough capability of your own. You are a good person of your own. You have got your own personality. Try and show your own personality. Okay? Don't become duplicate. Now, who is Akash? Read out your story.
A similar story, sir.
बोले शर्म आनी चाहिए ना. तो मैं बता रही, मैं कहानी पढ़वा के तुम लोग सामने अपने आप शर्म आनी चाहिए. तो सबके पूछे बोलोगे नहीं तो शर्म नहीं आएगी, आप सुधरोगे नहीं. बोलो.
Colonel Ravi is an army veteran who was an excellent officer, but had to be amputated during his service because of a bizarre accident which, while serving in Kashmir. He had to take an early retirement, but it did not hamper his determination to serve
how
the
many lines have
country.
passed by now? How many lines have passed by now?
So 5.
5 lines. Again, same story. Your problem should be defined in 2 to 3 lines. 8 to 10 lines should be there. Action of the hero. Last, you should be 2 to 3 lines should be conclusion. इससे कोई फायदा नहीं है. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, complete your story in any case.
He started coaching young candidates for CDS and ND exams who couldn't afford tuition and helped them become fine officers.
Not happy. So action only one. Only one line action. Which quality emerged then? He helped others to become an officer, isn't it? यही एक ही line हुआ ना action. क्या मिला इसे? अरे लड्डू बिकता है बाजार में, लड्डू खरीदो मत, लड्डू लुटाओ, लड्डू खाओ. लड्डू खाना जानता है? आदर्श कभी खाया लड्डू?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो लड्डू खाओ ना. तुम लड्डू की जगह लड्डू में सबको बुलाए, उल्टा सीधा डाला हुआ तुम लोग। लड्डू खाओ, लड्डू खाओ, लड्डू, मीठा बनो, मीठा बोलो। चलो नेक्स्ट, आकाश रीड इट।
Okay. Next story, sir. Hari was taking an evening stroll around the park when he heard a young girl crying. He quickly went up to that girl and asked her what was wrong. She told her she lost her parents and they were nowhere to be found. So Hari got an auto and took her along with him to the nearest police station. After informing the police, he took that girl along with him and looked out for his parents in the locality. He eventually got a call from the police that they found their parents and the girl was reunited
Akash,
with
you
her
would have
parents.
told me this story at least many times. I have heard this story from you for earlier also. You remain stuck to that.
Yes, sir.
So क्या फायदा हुआ? अरे एक बच्चे को उसके पेरेंट्स से मिलाने के लिए आपकी कौन सी क्वालिटी निकली? You are sympathetic, social adaptability, sense of responsibility, is it or not? First thing which is there, you should be able to bring out effective intelligence. That is what the psychologist looking around for. An effective intelligence is use of intelligence to find a solution to day-to-day problem. Is it? And then use of available resources to find a solution. This is how the definition goes. So it's a trivial low-level ideas. I call it a cakewalk. Cake. Take एक नाइफ लो, केक कट जाता है नहीं कट जाता? हाँ नहीं कटता नहीं कटता है। क्या फायदा वो केक कटने का? था लगना चाहिए हार्ड होता है। It should be granite. Your personality should be like a granite. It should not get cut. Okay, Rajneesh पढ़ो.
So Mohit is a good father, and he always wants to see his family be happy. Mohit and his daughter went to visit the fair. His daughter saw a doll which hanged on the shop wall. She was very stubborn. Mohit gave a doll who was wanting. His daughter was happy now, but by mistake, a doll's hands was broken by his daughter, and now she was crying. Mohit persuaded his daughter, "Don't worry," but she did not understood. Mohit again brought a doll for his daughter, and now his daughter is very happy.
अरे क्या फायदा हुआ रजनीश? मैंने 15 क्वालिटी बताने की कहानी करो ना। क्या हो गया बताओ? ये तो बच्चों की कहानी है। तुम आज के दिन में क्या उम्र हुआ तुम्हारा रजनीश जी? बताओ, उम्र बताइए ना।
Sir, 23.
23 साल का बच्चा है और बच्चा बूढ़ा। हम तो अभी तो बूढ़े हो गए, मैं बूढ़ा हो गया, तुम जब बच्चे बूढ़े हो गए हो। देखो अपने आप में बदलाव लो। ये तो लो लेवल आइडिया लिखकर क्या करोगे? क्या मिलेगा? किसी का हाथ तोड़ना, पैर टूटना, क्या नेगेटिविटी छोड़ो। इस दुनिया में बहुत दुख दर्द है, but there are certain good things also. Look at the positive aspect of the system. That's optimism. You have to bring out the 15 qualities. Rishabh, read it. Rishabh, read it.
Manish is a 40-year-old man. While coming back from his work, he saw a girl crying on the side of the road. Manish then goes towards the girl and asks why she was crying. The girl tells that she has lost and don't know the way back to her home. Manish asks the girl's address and contact details of the girl. The girl told her
ये
parents.
कहाँ से सब कहानी लिख कर लाते हो? ये कहाँ भी है? मैं सोचता हूँ ये कहीं से किताब में पढ़े हुए सब कहानी। Akash also said the same thing. You are saying the same thing. ये तो total human consensus has become from Bengal to Haryana. It is the same people are same thought is there. Why the same story? From where has this story come? Please don't read books which are, I say no, and pick up a story from other books and systems that are available. Make your own, train your own mind to think positively. Others, पढ़ो तुम.
Sir, I have made it same story like Akash did.
अरे तो डर के मारे पढ़ो तो, कब शर्म तो आनी चाहिए तुम्हें. पढ़ो तो.
Sumit was a runner. He was running in the garden. Then he saw a girl crying in the garden. He asked the girl what happened, and the girl replied that she lost her parents Then Sumit told her not to cry and took her
Okay,
to the police.
we'll leave it to that. I think that's okay. Now, read the next one. Start others now. Others.
Yes, sir. Ravi and his wife were roaming in the market for shopping some products. Then on the footpath, they found some box were fallen there. They picked up the product and found the shop name Razor Pawn Shop. They contacted the shop and with the help of the phone number provided on the box, and they went there with the product. And the shop owner was founded the product owner's name with the help of the barcode, and the product owner came there, and Ravi and his wife handed these products to the real owner.
Nikhil, very nice to have picked up people who want to get married. I think you put a matrimonial, they have to matrimonial forum खोलना पड़ेगा, right? किस क्लास में पढ़ता है राजा से? You are a 10th student, still you want to get married and with the बीवी के साथ घूमता है तुम? What is the story? Huh? अभी child marriage has been banned in India, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh? You
Yes,
can't damn well get married before 21. You don't become adult. So what is this?
Sorry.
What is this story for? What do you gain? And then again you're making किस नाम से पता चलता है उसी के सोना के देख के कहां पर नाम लिखा रहता है? Hallmark is there. Hallmark does not indicate the name of the person. Make a realistic story, my dear. Rajneesh Paro.
So in this picture, I can't understand anything, sir.
What do you can't understand anything? तीन आदमी पढ़ो क्या लिखे हो? शर्मानी से बोलो तो तुमने क्या लिखे हो? Don't worry. Aim here is not जो whatever लिखो. Don't get ashamed, my dear. My aim is to pull you down, but aim is to help you to develop. Don't get worried. यदि मैं करता हूँ मेरा आपके डेवलपमेंट की बात करता हूँ. I'm not trying to do. I'm critical. That is my job. Okay. Tell me what you've written.
So Siddharth is living in Mumbai and he worked there. When he came in Bihar, he bought a gift for his sister. Siddharth is not coming to the wedding and her sister is angry and his sister. So बस इतना ही लिख पाया.
अरे पहले तेरे को बता तेरे डाउट है तेरे यहाँ पे फैमिली रिलेशनशिप अब तो कंफर्म कर दिया कि तेरी गुस्से तब तो आपस में तू अपने घर वालों से झगड़ा करता रहता तो अब तो कंफर्म कर दिया ना तुमने.
Yes, sir, I confirm.
हाँ तो क्यों झगड़ा होता है? बाप में क्यों झगड़ा करता है? किससे झगड़ा करता है? बाप से, माँ से या बहन से, भाई से? किससे बोलना बस बोल. हाँ
सिस्टर से आपका सुबह होता है.
हाँ सिस्टर झगड़ा होता रहता है. कंफर्म देखो, डोंट वरी, होता रहता है. चलो झगड़ा करो, कोई फायदा नहीं इससे ऐसा लिखने का. तो कहानी बनाओ बेटा. अभी देखो, when you come to me, I want you to develop.
Okay, sir.
Forget what SSB. I want your thought process to change. I want you to good human. I want you to develop. Our free world. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to listen to tell you something bad. I'm going to correct you. A job is mine to correction. Okay, don't get worried. Aim to correct it. Don't write this. We'll show you some of the stories written by others. Okay, read the next one. Who has read it? Rishabh, you read it?
Manoj is a 23-year-old boy who works at a jewelry store. While doing his daily tasks as usual, a man and a woman came at his shop. They said they wanted to sell some jewelry to him. While checking the jewelry, he asked some questions to them, and they were not able to answer them. Then Manoj got suspicious. He called the police, and the police came and immediately caught them because they were wanted for thugging people before.
Okay, there's some noise outside. What is the end? What has happened now? What has he done?
Police came and immediately caught them because they were wanted for thugging people before.
Okay.
Manoj
So
got
the problem is now you are अब क्या आता है I said don't write any story anti-social, unsocial activity. Is it or not? मैंने बोला ना, देखो ऐसा है ना, अपने थॉट प्रोसेस चेंज करने का यही तरीका है, मैं करूंगा ही नहीं. I will not write any story on anti-social, unsocial activity. Then your process, your thought process gets cleaned up, isn't it? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Akash, paro.
Sir, Rishi is a young jeweler at a jewelry store. One day at work, there was a couple who came up to buy jewelry from his shop. They looked very familiar to very famous jewelry thieves who have been stealing various shops in the city. After talking to them, Rishi was more than certain that it was them. He quickly got up to
कब
get.
सुधरेगा आकाश, कब सुधरेगा, कब सुधरेगा बोलो. I have told you will not write any story anti-social, unsocial. You will not talk about unionism. You will not talk about religion. You will not talk about politics. Have I said or not? It's a big band. The time you stop thinking and doing about it, you're rolling right. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk to unionism. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk caste creed. Anti-social, unsocial. आपकी कहानी अपनी बनेगी यार. Secondly, don't write negative story. Hero will not get hurt. Hero will always successful at the end. Act. इतने छोटे छोटे कहानी से चीज से कहानी बन जाती है ना यार. Don't cut and paste and fit a story. Think originally. Make your brain think about a new one, new plot, new system. Okay. Read the next one. Akash, start karo.
Lakshman was on his way to buy some grocery, which his mother had asked him to get. When on his way, he saw an apartment on fire. He heard a mother was in distress because she could not find her son, and she is stuck inside the building. The fireman could not approach the scene on time yet. Lakshman quickly wrapped a blanket around him and rushed into the building. He heard cries of a boy from the third floor. He went up and got the boy kid and along with him made it out of the building. The boy was quickly rushed to the hospital and it was because of Lakshman that the boy was saved.
Okay, now don't. Then you are trying to take a credit. You are trying. Don't try and take a credit. Why should I take that? अपने आप को अपना पीठ पर अपने आप शाबाशी क्यों दे रहा है? Don't give a credit to yourself. Let others give you credit, isn't it? Having gone into a scene, rather take all action which are required to be taken in a fire case. That's all. But this is again this story and story number 2 or story number 1 is almost the same theme. There you have the train burning. Don't repeat the themes. Don't repeat the themes. Okay. 12 कहानी है, 12 कहानी का अलग रखते को. You should have variety, isn't it? You should have variety. अधिक कोई फायदा नहीं है ना. Okay. Now, who has not read it? Rishabh, read it.
Manas is a 23-year-old boy. While going to his college, notices smoke coming out of a building. Then he found out the building was caught in fire. Manas started shouting and told locals who were resident there. Manas immediately contacted fire service and police. While police were on his way, Manas, with the help of others, started evacuating people from that building one by one, and later the fire brigade extinguished the fire, and no one was injured due to immediate response from Manas and other local residents.
Slightly more detail. That now you just got the fire. Rather than you start putting out the fire, then call for the help. Priority first change karo. Okay. Use with the help, but try to put out the fire. Somebody inform the police. From the they came with the help of the people and what all action have been taken. How many people saved? What are the details? Multiple. This is a positive story. How it should be done. Okay. Who is the next person? Rajneesh Paro.
So Seema is preparing for exam of serious exam. He listened to a lot of noise which come from outside. When she going out, she saw her near factory was burning. He called the fire brigade and immediately called the ambulance. Seema just started a motor vehicle to trying to extinguish the fire and all people helped Sima. Fire brigade came and extinguished the fire, and all laborers was coming outside, and all is good, and no any harm, any person.
रजनीश, तुम्हारे विचार में कोई गलत नहीं है, व्हाट ये तुम्हारा फ्लो नहीं आ रहा है, ठीक है। अभी क्या है, तुम क्या कर रहे हो, अभी तो अंग्रेजी हिंदी से अंग्रेजी में ट्रांसलेट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, ट्रांसलेट मत कर, समझे ना।
Yes.
अभी समस्या एक ही है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है बेटा, यू कैन लर्न इंग्लिश विद इन मैटर। लेट मी जस्ट टेल यू अ स्टोरी। Within a matter of 2 months, I could afford to. When I joined a school, I was from Hindi medium, गांव का पढ़ने वाला था, मैं अंग्रेजी के ABCD नहीं आता था। मुझे पहले परीक्षा में गया, 1 महीने में परीक्षा हुआ, हर एक में 0 नंबर आया। मैथमेटिक्स में आया ज्यादा क्योंकि शायद दिमाग ठीक था। मेरे को निकाल रहा था स्कूल से, मैं बोला भैया टाइम तो दो। 2 महीने के अंदर भार्गव डिक्शनरी उल्टा हिंदी से अंग्रेजी करी, आप उसके बाद से मैंने कभी सेकंड नहीं आया अपने क्लास में। ये नहीं, बड़ाई नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ कि ये तो खाली ट्रांसलेशन लैंग्वेज होने बेटा, यदि हिंदी आता तो अंग्रेजी सीखने को समस्या नहीं है, खाली अपने आप पर डरो मत।
Yes, sir.
डरना नहीं है जिंदगी में, डर कर कुछ नहीं, डर कर मरने से कोई फायदा नहीं है। You just have to have the confidence। देखो अपने आप पर आत्मविश्वास ये जरूरी है।
Yes, sir.
जब इतना अधिक नहीं होते तो आपका तो पास नहीं होते ना, परेशान नहीं देते। ये दिमाग तो है, भगवान ने दिया हुआ है, केवल उसका सदुपयोग करना है। करेक्ट। आदर्श did it।
Hers was a chemistry teacher in the
देखो
school.
रजिश, एक और तो, अब लड़की को तुम गॉट कंफ्यूज, ही और सी में गड़बड़ कर रहे हो, लड़की को हीरो बना रहे हो, उसका ही रहेगा, सी रहेगा, बीच में जो गड़बड़ कर रहे हो उसे बंद करना। सीधा सपट्टा दाब,
Okay, sir.
सीधे सीधे सिंपल इंग्लिश में लिखने की कोशिश करो। ओके, सिंपल
Okay,
इंग्लिश
sir.
लिखो तो नहीं, यदि कहीं स्टक हो गया तो हिंदी सब लिख दो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। हिंदी यदि कहीं स्टक हो गए हैं वर्ड के लिए, हिंदी लिख दो। यहाँ पर मैंने 2 विद्यार्थियों को मैंने पास कर, जो खाली हिंदी में पूरा TAT लिखा था, हिंदी में पूरा। And I'm the person who passed him, and he was recommended, he became an officer as well. So don't get worried. A language is a medium of communication, isn't it? और कुछ नहीं है ना। अंग्रेजी से
Yes.
कोई अच्छा आदमी बनता है क्या? अंग्रेजी बोलने से खाली अच्छा नहीं बनना है, अपने आप को क्लीन कर आदत करो।
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hers was a chemistry teacher in a school. In the chemistry lab, some chemicals were not present, so he went to the market in search of that chemicals. When he went near the chemical shop, he saw a crowd and some smoke coming out of there. So he went there and watched nearby and find out a hand pump and
How many
bucket.
lines pass others?
Sir, 6.
6 लाइन में क्या मिला, तो आपका सिंपल, while going to purchase chemical for the lab, he saw fire in the shop. That's all. It can be done in 1 line.
Yes, sir.
So ये जो 5 जो वर्बोस बनने की डिस्क्राइब करने की, कोई मिलता नहीं है ना। Your problem can be defined while going to purchase chemical for his lab, he found fire in the nearby shop. And then you take action. That's all. Problem is defined, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But if your problem should be defined in first 2 to 3, maximum 2 lines, maximum 2 to 3 lines, not beyond that.
Okay.
Your action should be 8 to 10 lines. Okay, आगे चलो।
Sir, he found the hand pump and a bucket, and then he filled the water in the bucket and threw it on the fire and took and extinguished with the help of hers and other, extinguished the fire with the help of
अच्छा, एक हैंड पंप नॉट वर्किंग से क्या लेन देन पड़ा हुआ है? हाउ इज इट गोइंग टू अफेक्ट? इट इज नॉट गोइंग, दिस हैंड पंप नॉट वर्किंग, कहीं से पानी आ ही रहा ना यार। तो वेयर वाज द नीड फॉर ब्रिंगिंग हैंड पंप इज नॉट वर्किंग? They are trying to, that means you are trying to pass on inefficiency to someone else. आप अपने inefficiency को you are trying to blame on the non-availability of water because of hand pump.
Yes.
So don't do that. आप अपने आप को बदनाम कर रहे हो, दूसरे को बदनाम कर रहे हो कैसे? मैं तो करने तैयार हूं, वहां पानी नहीं था। करेक्ट? आगे चलो।
And extinguished the fire and saved others' life.
Get more detail. ऐसे ये नहीं चला। अच्छे प्लॉट ठीक है। आप ये बोलते हैं सर, when he saw the fire, he along the people, he started putting the fire with the help of well resources on. He also called them ambulance, fire brigade, and with others people, they started putting water from the nearby well. And after some time, fire came controlled, extricated the property of the people and even the few people who were stuck inside it. And that's how his story goes on. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. This will start reading now.
Sir, I missed that slide. I lost connection.
You missed it. You didn't know you avoided it.
No, sir, I really missed it. I lost the connection.
चलो okay. Okay, don't worry. रजनीश करो, बोलो।
Sir,
एक
Rohit
भी
is a
कहानी
good
सब एक भी कहानी मिस करोगे तो कोई पास नहीं करेगा तुम्हें।
ठीक है, sir.
Please ensure that you don't miss even one story. If you miss one story, no one will pass you, even if you are good. Okay, आगे चलो। रजनीश पढ़ो।
Rohit is a good swimmer. He always participated in sports. When he went to walking near a river, he saw a girl. Her friend was screaming for help, and a girl drowned in the river. Rohit jumped in the river and saved a girl who was drowning in the river, and all is good.
अच्छा, ओके। आप देखो रजनीश, तुम्हारे विचार अच्छे हैं। आपको लिखने का तरीका क्या था? रजनीश while going along the river heard a noise of a drowning girl. He, being a good swimmer, he jumped inside the water, pulled her out, gave the first aid, took her to the hospital, and she was saved. Can you done that or not?
Yes, sir.
बस सीधा तरीका, मैं बता रहा हूं, कॉम्प्लेक्स मत करो, सीधा पढ़े लिखो। ओके,
Okay, sir.
आदर्श पढ़ो।
A man was sinking inside the water, and Ravi and his friend were getting to the lake for a bath. And the Ravi saw man and run towards him and jump inside the water for saving the man and pull up the man. But it was not easy for him. So he told his friend to throw the rope which was hanging near the lake. Then his friend threw the rope, and after a lot of hard work, the man was saved.
आदर्श, इसका मतलब हुआ तुम कभी भी जिंदगी में रिस्क लेना नहीं, तुम डरपोक हो, कभी रिस्क नहीं लोगे। Secondly, a solution effective use of intelligence find a solution. You cannot find a solution because रोप कहाँ पर रखा रहता है? रोप से फेंक कर आपने दिया, it was very difficult. पहले ही बोलता था it is difficult to save him, and then you asking water to वहां पर someone to throw a rope. Where would he throw? Where it is? Why should it available? कहाँ कहाँ पर? किस गंगा के किनारे मुंगेर में रहते हो, कहीं देखा नदी किनारे रोप रखा हुआ फेंकने के लिए? हाँ, रखा हुआ कहीं पर, या किसी को हैंग करने के लिए रखा, अपने आप सुसाइड करने के लिए रखा हुआ वहां पर?
No, sir.
रखा हुआ तो शायद मुंगेर में रखा होगा, कोई भरोसा नहीं है ना।
Nice.
मुंगेर है ना। हाँ, मीर कासिम का जगह ना, मीर कासिम के लोग थे ना।
हाँ,
हाँ, तो मीर कासिम वाले तो उनके फोर्ट में रहता होगा, मीर कासिम के फोर्ट में रखा होगा। हाँ, पढ़िए आकाश।
Rakesh was walking to his friend's house when suddenly on his way he heard loud cries from a girl beside a pond. He rushed towards her and asked her what was the problem. She pointed towards the middle of the pond. A boy was struggling to stay afloat and was drowning. Rakesh, without giving a second thought, jumped into the water and dragged that boy out of the pond and saved his life.
बट हाउ, कैसे निकाला? निकाल के क्या, कैसे सेव करने? बच्चे का डूबा, पानी पिया, फर्स्ट दिया, नहीं दिया, पानी निकाला, पेट से नहीं निकाले, वो सब कौन करेगा? हाँ आकाश, कोई करेगा नहीं करेगा? नहीं, नहीं? ओके, Others,
lack details.
अरे डिटेल कोई फायदा नहीं, तो मैच्योर हो बेटे आज के दिन में, यू कांट अफोर्ड टू बी दैट इमैच्योर द सिस्टम। जिंदगी में ग्रेविटी, यू हैव टू बी नो responsible for your own success or failure. Okay, others read it now.
Anya was a student in a school. She was always a good sports and athlete person. She had a lot of interest in the whole world. So she decided to make her career in this. So he went outside the city for the training and learned how to do this. And after a lot of practice, during one day, she met with an accident and fractured her leg. And she went to the doctor and with the coach, and the doctor told
अरे
her,
बेटा सुनो, नेगेटिव तो लिखना ही नहीं लिखना है, ये तो बहुत ही पहले ही और सी में तुम कंफ्यूज हो गए हो। डोंट डू दैट, कैसा मत करना। पहले लड़के, हीरो शुड बी सेम एज एंड सेक्स। जैसे आदि आदर्श है, आदर्श की तरह का हीरो होना चाहिए ना, ठीक है। सेकेंडली क्या होता है, हीरो बनने के साथ और क्या होता है, यू शुड हैव पॉजिटिव क्वालिटीज। यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू ब्रेक। तुम ही टूट गया तो मर गया तो क्या फायदा हुआ हमें हीरो बनने का है। मैंने बोला अमिताभ बच्चन पर, इससे ज्यादा और मैं क्या कहूं। अमिताभ बच्चन को किसी कहानी में मरते देखा है क्या, है ना। सुन तो मार दो क्या, तो अभी 78 साल के 80 साल में तो काम कर रहा है, देखो।
सर तो अपोजिट सेक्स का नहीं लिखना है।
नहीं अपोजिट से क्या, आपका कहाँ पर इसमें अपोजिट कहाँ लिखा, ही और सी तुम बोल रहे हो ना।
हाँ सर।
सी कहाँ से है, सी अपोजिट सेक्स है या नहीं, लड़की है
Yes,
लड़का है। सी लड़की होता है क्या लड़का होता है,
लड़की होता है।
तो फिर देखा, तुम ही बोल रहे पढ़ रहे हो, मैं तो सुन रहा हूँ जो बोलते हो।
Yes.
जो बोलो वही मैं सुनूंगा ना। अच्छा ओके, ऋषभ पढ़ो, अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ।
Rohit is a 21-year-old graduate student from Delhi University. Rohit is a motivated sports person who is working to become an Olympic medalist in pole vaulting. Rohit worked hard, and due to his efforts, he got selected to represent his college in inter-college sports meet, where he got first rank. Rohit later on got selected in state level tournament, where he also got first position and got chance to train and compete for the nationals.
Okay, positive way of doing it, but you have to give slightly more detail. यहाँ पर selection एक one, the training कैसे क्या? From where did he take training? How did he cope? Did he take coach or not? What he picked up for the state or something? ये सब थोड़ा डिटेल डालो ना। अरे तुम तो हरियाणा के आसपास क्या, पूरे का आधे तो पूरे हरियाणा का एथलीट है रे, तो फिर एथलीट बनना उसके मुताबिक का। ओके नेक्स्ट, कौन, आकाश पढ़ो। आकाश जी।
Yes, sir. Shashi was a young kid from a village which didn't have much provisions for athletics. He was always fascinated by pole vaulting, so he made a setup for himself to practice it along with bamboos, and instead of mat, he built a sand pit. He took part in state championship. He was a champion there, and so got selected in Sports Authority of India. There, along with advanced gear and equipment, quickly became an international star in
Slightly
pole
better
vault.
story, better story. Okay, better story. Okay, who is not ready? Rajni पढ़ा है, Rajni पढ़ो।
So, Raju is a 17-year-old boy who is preparing to join a defense academy. So he wants to physically fit. He always jump and running to fit. He tried to jump 10 feet of height by bamboos. He was trying regularly to jump the height of 10 feet by bamboos. One day he do it very well. Jumped.
कहानी पूरा नहीं हुआ ना, कहानी पूरा हुआ क्या? हेलो
Yes, sir.
या जैन, हाँ हाँ बोलो। हाँ 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 बोलो। हाँ ओके चलो आगे बोलो। हु इज नेक्स्ट पर्सन? आदर्श पढ़ो, आदर्श पढ़ो।
What sir? I have read it.
You read it, तो कौन नहीं पढ़ा? हो गया सबका? ओके, रीड द नेक्स्ट वन। ऋषभ।
Mohit is a 22-year-old college student who decided to visit the Delhi Zoo. When he reached there, he saw a big line for ticket. Mohit got upset, but he really wanted to see the different exotic and endangered animals and birds of the zoo. So Mohit patiently waited in the line and got his ticket. When he got chance and visited the zoo,
How much
where
line
he
है पास?
saw
How many lines are passed, ऋषभ?
8, sir.
एक लाइन में क्या मिला? लाइन में खड़ा था। What is the theme? Every word is a resource. Every word is a resource. तो फायदा नहीं है इससे। ओके, चलो नेक्स्ट। आकाश।
It was particularly a very hot sunny day when Rishi decided to go to the bank as he had to deposit some money urgently. As he reached, he saw a long queue outside the bank. Suddenly, in between the line, he noticed an old man who was visibly dehydrated and he looked like he could collapse anytime. Rishi quickly helped him out of the line, gave him some water and some fruits. He asked him to rest while he waited for him at the light and helped him through his work. The old man was very thankful to Rishi for helping him out.
What was your aim? What was your aim? पैसा जमा करने के लिए। पैसा जमा करने के तेरे को क्या अफसर बना देगा आकाश? बताओ तुम्हें। ये जो प्रॉब्लम शुड बी ऑफ सम लेवल होना चाहिए ना। तभी आपकी 15 क्वालिटी, ये पैसा जमा करने के कौन सा क्वालिटी निकलता है? क्या कर रहे हो आप सब? तो फायदा है इसे? रजनी।
Sir, Sudhir is a graduated student. He lives in Patna, and there was a starting of election in his area. Sudhir went to vote where voting is going on. He saw a very big line for voting. All people are in a line. Sudhir had just seen and he thought voting is very compulsory.
I couldn't afford it. Again,
So
फिर से पढ़ो।
Sir, Sudhir is a graduated student. He lives in Patna. There was a starting of election in his area. Sudhir went to vote where voting is going on. He saw a very big line for voting. All people are in line. Sudhir had just seen and he thought voting is very compulsory. So he stand in line. After 2 to 3 hours, he vote his candidate.
अच्छा, अब ये वोटिंग के लिए तेरे को अफसर बना देना चाहिए, नहीं रजनीश? 3 घंटा में खड़ा रहने के लिए तुमको अफसर बनना चाहिए, जरूरी है ना? क्या कहानी क्या किससे? व्हाई आर यू डूइंग दिस? क्या फायदा हुआ इसका?
नहीं है।
हाँ बताओ।
यस सर।
ओके, आदर्श पढ़ो।
मैं जाता हूँ स्टेशन की तरफ से।
Yes, sir.
आदर्श।
Nikhil, your mic is open.
आदर्श।
Yes, sir. Ravi was a gym trainer. He went to a crowded area with his son for shopping. Then he suddenly stampeded to place in the crowd, and Ravi got injured and fell down. When he stood up, his son was not there, and Ravi was searching for his son.
अगेन ट्रेजिक कहानी हो गया ना, ट्रेजिक स्टोरी हो गई ना। क्या फायदा हुआ इसके लिखने का? 15 क्वालिटी दिखाने की क्या जरूरत हो कि कैसे दिखाओगे? Okay, I think by and large we have gone through quite a bit of story on there. Anyone having any doubt, first and foremost, then we'll go further on to the system. अब बोलो, कहानी लिखने के लिए मैंने सारी बुद्धि आप लोग लिखा दिया, आप लोगों ने इसका कोई इस्तेमाल अभी तक नहीं किया, तो फायदा कोई इससे नहीं होना। Ask me if you got any doubt, then I'll go further on to the system.
सर वो क्या
बोलो,
क्या लिखवाए थे सर वो पहला दिन? मतलब
क्या
लिखवाए थे सर वो पता
नहीं। I couldn't afford to, क्या आप बोल रहे हो
सर? वो अभी क्वालिटीज दिखाए थे वही ना सर?
15 क्वालिटी जो दिखाए थे, 15 क्वालिटी दिखाने पड़ेंगे ना बेटे। अच्छा, 15 क्वालिटी नहीं दिखाओगे तो कोई फायदा तो नहीं होगा। हाँ 15 क्वालिटी जब तक नहीं दिखाएगा तो कोई उपाय नहीं है ना, है या नहीं बोलो।
नहीं है।
Now I'll just try and see if I can afford to find out. Okay. Now I'll show you some of the stories which are written. I know which may be right, which may or may not be right. I know. By you people only, I have not written anything. Okay. This was the first scene, isn't it? Okay. Just quickly, just one story you did it. Someone did it. Start. Others, Parna shuru karo. Others, read this.
Yes. Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Others, paro.
Shubham is a boy of class 12. Once he was going to his school over a bridge, he heard sound and screaming. He looked down the bridge, saw and that one person was droning. Then he
Well, he
quickly
told the same line that you were there, isn't it? Now, paro this side story, paro. Read this.
Ram is a very good student of class 12. He is very much motivated to join NTA. He cleared the UPSC and today is going to the SSB Center, Allahabad. He took the blessing of his parents and started his journey. In the way of the station, he saw some children shivering due to cold. As it was January month, so Ram gave them some of his clothes. After this, he reached his SSB center and cleared subsequently medical also.
Okay.
And finally joined and become an air officer.
Okay.
Air Force.
So now some of the stories are. What I'm trying to tell you very easy. I can keep on taking the story. What I want you people to write, because your story, none of the stories today have been anywhere near what I expect. What I expect. Okay. So as a result, now what I expect you people, in view of the light that we have discussed, I do expect that you will rewrite your story. Rewrite all your story. All your story. फिर से लिखो. उसी कहानी को improve करो. इसी कहानी को improve करो. That's the one way. That's the one way to go about it. Okay. Then only can talk about it. Okay. Now let's talk about the WAT. Let's talk about the WAT. पढ़ो WAT को पढ़ो.